world. This is Hollywood, host of Spoilers Podcast on the Rat Pack Podcast Network, where your hosts have lots of opinions but zero credentials. Today we're going to be watching the trailer for the upcoming horror movie, The Blair Witch. I'm joined by my three regular co-hosts. Say hello, gentlemen.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hey.
I'm Adam, Maestro.
Joel Cole.
Joel Cole.
So, The Blair Witch. I know one person here hasn't seen The Blair Witch Project. That's Adam.
Yes.
Have you two seen The Blair Witch Project?
Never
Okay,
saw
we
it
got
either.
two. Okay, 2 and 2. So we got two people who've seen it, 2 people who haven't seen it.
All right, good. I thought I was the only one.
And I feel like you don't have to watch it to get this one. You just have to know that 15 years ago, this camera crew went into the forest trying to find the Blair Witch. They
Right.
didn't make it out alive.
Okay.
But it was like a fake movie.
Right.
In 99, people thought it was a real movie because there was like no,
Yeah, well,
internet wasn't big back then.
People are stupid.
And there was no and there was no brag book to verify that they're still alive.
Right.
So, pretty much the general premise of this is that Heather, the main girl, the one, I know you haven't seen the Blair Witch, but it's famous because she has the camera in her face like,
Oh, I'm so scared or
Yeah.
whatever. The piece of snot
her,
coming out of her nose.
it's 15 years later, and her younger brother saw a video someone posted that they found one of her tapes or something. So he gets a crew to go into the woods to try to find his sister.
All right, question.
Yeah.
About the first one.
Yeah.
How is this footage found?
Answer. I don't know.
You get a thing in the beginning that just says it was these tapes were found in the woods, and what you're seeing is the actual, archival footage of this film crew.
Okay, that somebody edited it together.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
the thing with found footage movies is like you have to create like how these things are being watched or how they're
Right,
being
yeah,
found.
that's
Some
my
do it
question.
good, some do them.
All right, because with the way this trailer opens up, it's saying this guy posted this online somewhere, these videos. So is that guy in the Blair Witch world, or is that in our world and somebody, like he watched the movie?
Why can't it be both?
Well, that's what I'm asking.
Why
is
this-
it possible to be both?
Yes.
Okay,
Wait, so in that world, there was a movie that came out, The Blair Witch Project? That
right,
This,
that's what I'm asking.
See, now you're in Blair Witch 2 Book of Shadows territory, which was the sequel to the first Blair Witch.
Okay.
Where it was like the Blair Witch was
that's
a
an
movie.
actual movie?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You thought I made that up
Yes,
on
I
the
thought it was a
spot?
joke.
oh,
No.
wow.
No, that's an actual movie. In that movie, the Blair Witch world was just a movie. So this camera crew goes in the woods to try to debunk it or to try to prove that the Blair Witch Project was a real movie.
Okay.
And then they get into some mess.
wow.
And they die.
So this kind of reminds me of it.
Okay.
But this one looks way better.
All right. It looks scary. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can see the kind of jump scares. Some of the camera angles, I'm curious how and why they're there. Like there was one scene where the girl's climbing through a tube, and I guess she's like, and the camera's in front of her. So does that mean she like pushed the camera out and then crawled a little bit, and then pushed the camera back out and crawled a little bit?
Well, yeah, that's the thing, is that the first movie, they kind of made the shaky cam, found footage genre. They made like the most money off the least expenditure and told Paranormal Activity. And so I wonder if they're going to depart from that. And yeah, so how does that camera action thing work? It has to be like a crew and a bigger production than like a shaky cam sort of production. I would think.
GoPro.
Yeah, what I read online is they're incorporating GoPros, drones. They're incorporating like these glasses that have cameras built into it. So they're
Glass?
Okay.
I don't know, but I know they're incorporating different types of cameras now that it's 15 years later.
So is the idea that they're going out to investigate
They're going to try to find his sister.
while also recording everything they do?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just like how his sister did.
Okay. And
15 years ago.
which didn't work out, by the way.
No, it didn't.
Okay. So their whole thing is we're going to try this again.
Yeah.
All right. I want to know how she died, or if she died, if that's even her. Or
You
whatever.
don't. Well, we're going to watch it
Yeah.
for the podcast.
Yes.
I don't want to give it. I can
Okay.
tell you, but if do you want to wait for the
No, okay.
podcast?
Wait.
You don't.
All right.
You don't see what happens to anybody.
I want to see him yell later. Let him wait.
Okay.
Okay.
So these people could very well still be alive, supposedly.
In the Blair Witch
In the
world.
Blair Witch world.
Yes, but in the real world, these actors are alive.
Oh, okay. That's
Because
good
the marketing for the 1999 movie sold it as these guys are actually dead and we found their real footage. And then like 2 days before the movie came out, they were on TRL. Like, oh, it was all a joke. And everybody was like, oh, man.
Before it came out?
Yeah, 2 days
That's
before
a
it came
horrible
out.
way to publicize.
I know, but I think they were getting pressure from people. Like, you can't show a movie with dead people.
Oh,
I think that's what was going on.
oh man. And that was back then 15 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, we've gotten so much crazier now as a society.
Yeah. Well, there's a backstory to this Blair Witch movie.
Okay.
This movie was directed by the guy, Adam Wingard, the guy who made You're Next. Not You're Next. You're Next. The
Okay.
home invasion movie where they're wearing the animal mask.
Right.
And they also did this other movie called The Guest.
Okay.
They sold this movie as The Woods. And when they first showed the teaser for The Woods, there was no Blair Witch stuff. It was just like a camera crew in the woods and they got lost.
Okay.
And then at Comic-Con, the people, they gathered them in like Hall H or whatever hall it was, and they said, okay, we're gonna show you clips from The Woods. And then they showed them the new trailer, and at the very end, they tacked on the Blair Witch. So it was all a big cover-up. They got Frost Nixon, dude. Oh. Like they got tricked, right? Okay. So it turned out that this was actually the Blair Witch the entire time, and nobody knew about it. No one online knew about it. No, like we were just told it's The Woods, like as generic a title as it can be.
Right.
But then in that trailer, they threw the Blair Witch, the little monos. What are they called?
Yeah, it's like a pentagram or something.
Yeah,
crazy.
they threw those wood things in there, and they were like, "Oh my God, is this the Blair Witch?" And that's when they threw the title card, Blair Witch.
Oh, okay.
So that's a little backstory to this.
Have people been clamoring for this, for a sequel of some kind?
No.
No, I love horror movies, and I haven't.
Okay.
But it's nice to go back into this world 15 years later because now the technology has aged. If the little brother was a real little brother, he's now an adult. So that's like a real life, like time progression.
You never really have known her at all, really, 15 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but suddenly he's got a huge hard on to try to find her. So it seems a little weird. It seems like the whole premise of why they're going to the woods, I'm not. It seems kind of like.
So you haven't seen the first one. That's the problem. Like there's shots in there where I'm like, yeah, that's like the first movie. That's like in the first movie. Them here.
I like the idea of the whole found footage thing, and I like it when it's done right. Like Cloverfield, the whole movie was that, and it was great.
So you don't get like motion sickness then?
No, I don't think so. If it was spinning around like a top.
Well, that's the reason why most people didn't like watching the Blair Witch originally, was because of the motion sickness.
Oh, yeah?
When it first came out, people were complaining about motion sickness. They were walking out.
Okay. Why did you avoid watching the first one?
Seizures.
You know what? I remember the time period it came out. I remember hearing a lot of buzz about it. Just didn't really seem to interest me. Because I heard about it being a faked found footage thing before I thought of going to see it. So I just thought that just was a whole bunch of publicity that didn't really interest me. If I maybe didn't hear, if the reveal didn't happen, maybe I would have been more interested.
Okay.
Yeah.
In a macabre sort of way.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I don't know, it just never really seemed like, I mean, I like that whole idea of it, but for the people that I heard talk about it, they were just kind of like not impressed or whatever, so I just never really cared.
Was 1999 your bubble still?
That was on the verge of bubble bursting.
Okay, so you're still in your Christian bubble.
Well, I was like...
That was before Maestro.
I was like pressing on the bubble at that point, and it was about to pop.
Okay.
Like right around that time, I think is
when I showed up.
2002, 98 was the bubble burst.
Okay. So this is outside of it.
Yeah.
Because it's 99.
Oh, I think I was still in culture shock of the bubble burst thing. Like, what is all this stuff? And yeah, Blair Witch never got into that.
Consider him like a little egg, and it's just popping his head out at the last second with his beak.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the thing with found footage is the one thing. I'm surprised you like found footage, Adam, just because your whole thing in movies is if it doesn't take place in my world, it doesn't exist, and you're all about logic and stuff.
Yeah.
The one problem with found footage is why are they still recording? Like that's the one thing you have to somehow get around.
That would be a problem for me, except for in this day and age, everybody's recording everything all the time, and with no regard for their own safety at some point.
Okay.
Especially with the GoPros. I mean, you see people with motorcycles getting like wiped out and stuff. And yeah, so it's more believable now than it would have been if I had to watch it earlier.
Okay.
Maybe that's why I never got into it at the beginning. But then Godzilla or whatever, Cloverfield.
Oh.
Yeah, that one interested me, and I watched it. And I did enjoy it.
Okay.
Yeah, that whole thing didn't come into my head of like, why are they still recording?
Okay.
Now it does.
Now it's gonna bother me.
So even though you both haven't seen the first Blair Witch Project, are you interested in this movie at all? Or do you feel like you weren't interested in the first one, so I'm not even going to bother with this one?
I think I'll check it out. It looks interesting enough.
Okay.
Because I think the whole, faked found footage thing isn't tainting it for me. So I think, it looks like it's well done. It looks like it could have some good fright moments.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm going to watch the first one first for the podcast,
well, we have
for the Spoilers podcast,
yes.
thatbadpodcast.com, and then I'll let you know.
Okay.
It really depends on how that goes. Because if I enjoy it even a little bit...
Oh, no, you're not going to like this movie.
Because it seems like there's going to be... This is the way it should have been done had they had the budget to do it back then.
Yes.
Which production values I take very seriously. And if you have crappy production values, I'm not going to enjoy the experience.
I don't think Adam's going to like The movie.
Oh no.
Half the movie is just them sitting there bitching like, we're lost, man, we're out of food, man.
Now you tell him. The whole idea is like to make sure I want to see him angry when he watches this. I want that vein to burst.
I guarantee you I'll still have a vein. If it's that upsetting, I'll still pop out of it.
I really want to see that.
Make sure you really want to watch this?
I'm like most horror movies. I like watching on DVD at home at night, everything closed, super dark.
Yes.
Yeah, I love watching like that.
That's good stuff.
I'm the opposite. I like it in a crowded theater.
Why?
Because comedy and horror work good as a social viewing experience. Because everyone's reaction to the jump, you hear everyone, like that.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that.
Or everyone reacting to the laughter and the jokes. So I'm definitely seeing this movie.
Okay.
Because I love horror movies in theaters.
All right.
Because I love horror movies. And I read on Bloody Disgusting, one of the guys said it was probably one of the scariest movies they've ever made.
Oh.
But I take that with a grain of salt because the way people talk now, everything is the most amazing thing they've ever seen. Everything's the greatest thing they have ever eaten.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take that with a grain of salt.
What they don't say is you said that about the last 5 movies you made.
Yes.
The scariest movie. Oh, no, this one's the scariest. Yeah.
It goes back to that IMDb joke that me and my friend Brian have. This is the greatest movie I've ever seen because I saw it today.
Yes. Yeah, man.
So we got maybe check it out.
Yeah,
maybe.
I think I'll check it out.
Depends on the first one, so it'll be a no. Maybe.
DVD.
Yes.
You're waiting for DVD?
Nice.
Always.
Okay.
Nice. So their marketing may or may not work on this group.
All right.
So yeah, check out The Blair Witch in September. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and subscribe, recommend us to your friends, and also check out the website, ratpackpodcast.com, where you can find spoilers, Random Acts of Tangent, any other websites, and any other podcasts that we have on the network as well.